Hey everyone, so I wanted to make a quick video on why I think Doctor Who Series 11 will completely fail. I'm just gonna do this in a vlog style because I don't have the energy to edit this. I also know I'm gonna be called a racist, a sexist, a homophobic, a homophobe, menopause. I'm gonna be called everything. I'm gonna be called all the names under the fucking book. But you know what? This needs to be said, and I think I'm the best person to say it. Now, as most of you should already know, Doctor Who's Last Christmas special had a live viewership rating of 3 million live viewers. Now, some of you may think that doesn't mean anything because, we have BBC iPlayer and all that stuff. But the thing is, if people aren't watching the show, it shows you that something is bad. Of course, the ratings are relatively high when you compare it to smaller shows, but that is terrible for Doctor Who. That's another thing people seem to forget. People are comparing Doctor Who now with smaller TV shows. They don't compare it to what it used to be. Doctor Who in its prime days was getting 10 million, 9 million, 8 million live viewership consistently. This was strong, this was solid. This was just strong. And yet, now we have 3 million live viewers and everybody's acting like this is okay. Okay, so we move on. The story has been horrific. I'm not even going to go into that. You all know the Mars episode, the Forest episode, Forest of the Nine. We know the episodes. There's no need to go over them. Now, people talk about the Master. The Master regenerated into Missy. So this was okay, apparently. I don't know where most of you guys have been, but this was not okay. If you've been on the internet, many people did not like this idea, including myself. Making the Master into a female basically fucked up the entire lore. It's not a good thing, and nobody liked this. However, people realize that this is the direction they want to take the show into right now, so we might as well let it happen, and there's nothing we can do about it. So we let Missy stay. However, my main issue with Missy is the finale, the last episode she was in with what's that guy, the previous Master. This is where Moffat truly fucked up the entire lore. You see, the Master is meant to be evil. That's why he is the opposite of the Doctor. He's completely evil, and that's why he makes a great enemy for the Doctor. However, if you fuck around with the character's personality like that, they aren't the character anymore, and that's exactly what happened. In the last episode, the series finale with Missy and the Doctor, at the last scene, the very last scene, Missy attacks the Master. She basically does that to protect the Doctor. That's not the Master. That destroys the character. That doesn't make any sense. It would be like if it would be like if the Joker tried to protect Batman. It doesn't make any sense. They hate each other. They don't have some soft kind. And even if that was the case, because I know in some scenarios the Doctor and the Master work together. They work together because they don't have any other choice. They work together because they have a greater good to defeat, a greater cause, or whatever you want to call it. Missy was just helping the Doctor because, she was having a change of heart. If you do that with the character, you're destroying the character, you're pissing on the character. The character is no longer that character. Missy is no longer the Master, which is why I don't view her as the Master, because if that's the Master, you fucked up the lore, and I don't want to view it like that. Now, let's ignore the Missy thing. Let's completely ignore it. Let's look at Doctor Who as a whole. So like I said before, Doctor Who is dying. It's going down the drain. Everybody knows this. The BBC knows this especially. And they were trying to figure out a way to fix this. So they looked at the show. They looked through the entire show. And then they realized they needed a way to bring this show back. You need to understand, Doctor Who, currently, before this whole female Doctor thing was announced, was really fucking low. Nobody really cared about it. The page was getting minimal views. Nobody really cared about Doctor Who. So, except for the hardcore fans, So, the BBC thought about this, and then they realized that they needed a way to push back Doctor Who. They needed something that would, refresh it. Something that would gain viewers, strong viewers. They needed an idea. So assume you work at the BBC, okay? Assume you are a BBC worker. And then you're in that position. You have this dying TV show that was once big, right? You just need to do one thing to bring the show back up to number one. What could you possibly do? What could we do to this, long-running TV series? What could we do to it that could make it important again? That could make people want to watch it again? Ask yourself that question. What would you do? You would change something or add something. You couldn't add a new character because people wouldn't care about it. You couldn't bring back an old character because, of course, you would bring back viewers, but it wouldn't work that well. How about if you change something that's integral to the entire, series? How about we change the main character from a male to a female? That would bring so many views. That's what the BBC thought. And now this is the problem. This is the part people don't talk about, right? The thing is, the very important thing here is that whenever a new Doctor comes in, there's always a surge in views because people want to see what this Doctor is like. However, we have a female Doctor now, so we're not going to bring in we're not just going to bring in the normal viewers. We're going to bring in the females too. The newspapers, the TV shows, everybody's going to come together to watch this episode to see what the new Doctor is like. So the first episode is going to be booming with views. The BBC know this, but then they realize something as well, and this is the interesting thing. Whenever a new Doctor comes in, the viewership goes up and then it goes down. It doesn't matter how good the Doctor is, it just goes down because people don't care that much anymore. Now, with the new Doctor, the female Doctor, Jodie, whether or not you like it, has created a divide in the fan base. Some people don't like the idea and some people love the idea. Now, I don't like the idea, but I'm still going to watch it just to see what it's like. Then I'll probably stop. The BBC have realized this right now. They realize that many people who say they wouldn't watch it most likely will not watch it. And they're starting to realize that the female fan base isn't that strong, right? People, if you don't like horror movies, you're not going to start liking horror movies because one of your favorite actors is in the horror movie. You're not going to start liking horror movies because they've changed the cast to an all-female cast, right? You're going to like it if you enjoy it. Now, the BBC have also realized that, the female fan base will most likely not be as strong as they say they will. This is common sense. If you didn't watch the show before, you're not going to start watching it now. Nothing has changed except for the female fan base. So, what the BBC have decided to do is they need to up their game. They need to advertise Doctor Who. They need to change things. They need to make things all LGBT friendly, all PC, etc., etc., etc. And that's exactly what they've done. They have. If you look at the Doctor Who Facebook fan page, it doesn't look like Doctor Who anymore. I'm not saying that as a bad thing. I'm saying that as it looks more like a kid-friendly show. Now listen, before people jump in and say Doctor Who is a family show. It is. But the thing is, there's also a thing known as intelligent writing. Sarah Jane Adventures was the best at doing this. It basically knew that it had a teenage audience. So what they did was it wrote adult strong episodes for teenagers. And the teenagers loved that because you were making the teenagers feel like they were intelligent. You weren't belittling them. You weren't making them feel like they were stupid. This is what Doctor Who has been doing recently. It doesn't know who it's writing for. Is it writing for the mothers? Is it writing for the fathers? The children? The teenagers? They don't know who the target audience is. And this is why the show fucks up. So, in an effort to please everybody, they've gone and tried to bring in every kind of actor they could find to make it all interesting. Do you want a black guy? You've got a black guy. Do you want an Asian girl? You've got an Asian girl. Do you want a white guy? You've got a white guy. Do you want a female? You've got a female. What else do you need? I bet you, I'm 100% there's a disabled character, there's a transgender character. I'm not being mean. Listen, I'm not being mean. I'm being honest. There's a difference. They probably have added all these different characters in, and the reason they've done this is to gain views. And that's the problem. When you start doing things like this, your show is not going to be strong. And just mark my words, when Series 11 comes out, the show will be pissed upon, it will be ruined, it wouldn't be that good, I guarantee it. Another reason is, when you watch the trailers, they focus more on the fact that Jodie is a female. And it just doesn't work. Doctor Who as a concept doesn't work. It's a time-traveling alien who goes through, time periods, If a female character goes to medieval Rome, mate, listen, I don't care how far you want to suspend the disbelief. If a female character goes to medieval Rome and tries to talk to Julius Caesar, she'll be killed. There's no way around it. If you're doing that, if you're like trying to go through that, you're breaking logic. It doesn't work. And this is why Doctor Who will fuck up, essentially. Now, the director of this new series, or the producer, whatever you want to call him, Chris Chibnall, I think, he specifically said that he stated he was looking for a female doctor. So that means that he didn't go out and, select men and females. He selected the female specifically. So he disregarded men. So whether or not you want to believe anything I'm saying, looked at that. That's fact. This female doctor thing is going to kill the show. If you call yourself a true fan, you would at least try to see the situation for what it is, Overall, that's really all I have to say. I know I'm going to be called a sexist, a misogynist, rapist.
You see, I suffer from a problem.
Racist, etc., 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 etc. I love Doctor Who. I love Stargate. I love Star Trek. I just don't want to see the shows being ruined.
Everybody wants to call me the
Anyway,
bad guy.
if you liked what you heard, subscribe. If you don't, subscribe anyway.
My blue big
And
box,
share this and all
which is
that,
bigger
etc.,
on the
etc.
inside.
Thank you very much.
That's what I'm talking about. Doctor Who, Doctor Who. That's what the girl called me. Driving by in my big blue car. Everybody wants my ride. My big ride.